Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Linda and this is the place for African businesses which want to get visible using social media and paid using marketing strategy. So today I'm going to be talking about how you can build your email list for your business. And this is so important because 3 days ago we all experienced what it felt like when Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, these are the three key social media sites went down. And it's now more important than ever before for you to ensure that your business still has a very solid and robust email list so that if any of the social medias go down, you still have a backup. So I'll be sharing with you three easy tips that you could implement for your agriculture or food business that you could start to build up your email list. So the first thing you need to do is to develop something called a lead magnet. And a lead magnet is a free resource. And this can be in the form of an ebook, it can be an audio or a webinar, anything that your ideal client gets to download in exchange for their email address. And it's usually a very, very effective way of getting email addresses because first of all, you're not forcing, you're not stealing, but your ideal audience willingly downloads. So you might be asking me, Linda, so how do I develop a lead magnet? So for instance, if you're running a sausage business, maybe it's a food business, and you've done your research and you found out that your ideal target audience are women, and maybe they are busy women. So you could develop something, a free guide on the topic like the ultimate guide of how to prepare easy meals. And with such a document, it already is addressing some of your customers' pain points, and that will only make it easier for them to want to download and get to know more information. And the idea is for you to use this list to ensure that you consistently are getting emails into your businesses, and for sure it will be a very, very effective way of continuously engaging and getting to find out more about your customers. So now you have a lead magnet. What do you do with it? So you've developed a resource. The second thing you need to do is to ensure that you have either a landing page. A landing page, maybe if you've not yet developed into a website, a landing page is a simple one-pager where you apply the lead page and it's searchable. So if somebody searches for maybe food business or Google something and your landing page comes up, at least they get prompted to download the guide, and then in exchange for their email, they get access to the guide. You could also put this on your website. Actually, it's really, really most effective. You apply the lead magnet onto your website because the lead magnet on its own needs to be supported and it needs a home. So either a landing page or a website is what I would call the free resources home, and that's where you will host it. Now, of course, there's a lot of back-end stuff that goes on in terms of how to connect the free resource with your website or your landing page, and this is something you could research and find out how to connect the two. So you have your lead magnet, you've put it up on your website such that anytime someone searches for your business name, it comes up and the lead magnet is at the top, prompting them to download the guide. So then what do you then do? Because you can't just leave this to be static, you need to promote it. And this is where your social media sites come in very handy. For instance, if you have a LinkedIn page, if you have an Instagram and a Facebook page, you could put the link for your website or your landing page onto the profile such that it prompts people and have a call to action and say download the free guide. At least you're actively pushing your free resource. Another way of promoting your lead magnet is when you're doing your normal posts. For instance, you've scheduled for a week or a month's content calendar. You could find strategic points during your postings to actually call out that you do have a free resource and encourage your community on your audience to actively download the free guide. And what I see working very, very well is if you actively, if you've segmented your market very well, you've understood your target audience, and you've developed a resource that would be appealing to your target audience, and you are actively linking your content that you're posting during the week and encouraging your followers to download it, I see it works really, really well when you actually mention and speak up and say that you do have a resource. It's not enough just to push, and I mean just to put it on your website or just to put it as a static post, but it would also be really helpful if you're maybe on video. You mentioned maybe you're doing a video series on something, maybe your primary channel could be YouTube or Instagram Lives or Facebook Lives. Do your video series, but at the end, encourage people to download their free guide. Remember, one thing that works really well, and this is marketing psychology, your ideal audience needs guidance. They need to be asked, they need to be requested, they need to be reminded that you are offering something. And the good thing about a lead magnet is you're not pushing your offer down their throat. You really, if you've done your job well, you've actually researched, and your resource is actually a very valuable piece of information to them. So once you've gotten you start to build your list, because I'm sure people will be excited and interested, and you're promoting it in a natural way throughout your content. You will then start to build an email list. And the important thing about this is to actually segment your list such that if maybe today you've developed a guide for easy dinners, tomorrow you might develop a guide for people who are interested in sweets or baking. The important thing is to separate these two email lists, because remember, what attracted somebody to easy dinners is not the same thing that will attract your target audience to something around sweets and baking. And the same goes for your agriculture business. If you have separate offerings, depending on what you feel you need to promote, develop a lead magnet, but then once the customers come in, segment them depending on their needs and their wants. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments, and also follow me on Instagram. My handle is @digitallyhazmedia, and I'll drop the link down in the summary. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to share. And thank you so much for watching.